And on that theme of help, if you're planning to use respite care, whether formal or informal, like paid or unpaid, do plan early. People's calendars fill up fast for formal respite agencies. This is the busiest time of year, and so do try to plan ahead as much as you can. And if anyone offers help of any kind, accept it. Even if they do that vague, let me know if there's anything I can do kind of help. Think now of a couple of things you could ask for, so that if anyone does make that vague offer of help, you're ready with something right away. Like, actually, it would be a huge help if you could come sit with my mom for a couple hours so I could get some shopping done. Or I've been wanting to bake some cookies. If I could give you a list, would you go to the store for me? Just to be ready with that specific help. Because usually when people offer that vague help, like they really, well, maybe they mean it, but maybe they don't know what specific thing to offer. And so if you can ask for something, that's concrete and doable, have a better chance of actually getting that help. So anyone offers, accept. And then even beyond that, be willing to ask for specific help from, anyone who's in your circle. And if it feels too hard to ask, an individual directly, reach out to organizations in your area and ask if there are volunteers who could help, or if they know of any programs that could offer some support during the holidays. But definitely be bold about asking for specific help from the people that you know. Because the worst that they can say is no, and that would be disappointing. But what if they say yes, and then you actually get help and support? There's a risk, but it feels like a worthy risk. And I think in general, you might find that at the holidays, people maybe are more community-minded, more willing to help, looking for ways to serve than they are at other times of year. And if asking friends and family, doesn't yield enough help, there's always the paid programs, home health aides and adult daycare services. And you can always use the elder care locator or contact your local area agency on aging to find out about local respite providers, even, overnight help or longer. I recently just heard of a program where you can drop off your loved one for up to 2 weeks for respite periods. And it's worth asking too, if in your area there are programs that can help with the cost of respite care, in case that's not really in your budget. And so what I really want you to know is that asking for help, seeking respite, those things are not weakness. And as a caregiver, you might be used to being the strong one, the one that takes care of everyone else, that just kind of pulls yourself up by the bootstraps and gets stuff done. But caregiving is hard, and it is not weakness to ask for help. And really, it's just too much to go it alone. And so really do take all the help that you can get. And when talking with those closest to you, especially if they haven't been around much, they might not understand what your life is really like as a caregiver. If they haven't spent significant time with your loved one enough to see what dementia is really like for them and for you, there's really a good chance that they have no clue what it's like. And especially if your loved one is in the earlier stages of dementia, you might have noticed that they're still really good at covering up their problems. And in a normal social situation, kind of that muscle memory kicks in and they're able to cover up, how they're really doing. And it really might not seem as bad as it really is. And so you really might need to explain to other people what it's like for you, and then do your best to really ask for what you need. And I think a lot of times, if family hasn't been involved or supportive, or you felt kind of left on your own to cope, there's a good chance that these can be really emotional conversations. And so do your best to try to avoid accusations or making demands, and try to stick to the facts of what your experience has been like. And as you let other people know of changes that need to be made to holiday celebrations to accommodate your loved one or just your stress levels, you might find that there's resistance, that people want to do it the way it's always been done. Maybe think that you're being dramatic or you're blowing it out of proportion. But really, be gentle but firm about what you need. And if they still resist, accept that you might have to pull back from them from this season of caregiving if they're not willing to make adjustments or to help you enjoy the holidays as a family. And if others don't understand what it's like for you, or they try to guilt you into doing more than you can handle, really just have none of it. You are allowed to set boundaries that protect you and your loved one from undue stress, and you're allowed to stand by those boundaries. That can be a really hard thing to do, but don't let other people add to your stress or overwhelm.